So let's talk about Facebook's unwritten rules for writing ads. I wish there was a hard and fast list that I could tell you to say, use these words and don't use these words, because it would be so much easier. But unfortunately, the words depend on a lot of things. Depends on the interpretation of the person who may be manually reviewing an ad. If an ad gets disapproved, it could depend on a bot change at Facebook that does robot approval. And also, the words depend on how much credibility and how long your ad account has been running on Facebook. I can run ads on Facebook that you can't. Just because of my standing with Facebook for so long, I can do things that a brand new advertiser can't. And I know it's not fair, but it's just kind of how it is. I can't change the rules, but I'm going to show you how to do the best to keep your ads approved and running and generating leads for you. So one of the weird things with Facebook is it does not like the word you. So when you write your ad copy, try to avoid at all costs the words you. One use of you is fine typically, but in general, Facebook feels like the word you points a finger at somebody and makes them feel bad. So they don't want you to use the word you. Also, when you write these things, you can make it third person or first person, totally fine. But the word you, try to avoid it. Facebook also doesn't like gender references. You can to some degree, but just be mindful of that. Woman, man, women, men, also like girls and boys, you just got to be mindful with that. Use your preferred gender when you're targeting, and you can connect with them through your image of, like, say if women are your avatar that you're advertising to, then choose images that will be appealing to women or with women in them. Facebook likes the word people. It's like so weird. But use the word people. Okay, like people are looking to have more time, that kind of thing. Facebook does not like income opportunities, so be very careful about mentioning anything from words like MLM, network marketing, business, work from home, anything like that. Also, don't use words like employment, job, opportunity. I didn't write opportunity there, but don't use opportunity. Company, corporate, career, be very careful of that. Facebook does not like words that related to finances, like investment, debt, financial, retirement, freedom. Freedom in the past, we could use it all the time, and it's kind of touch and go now. I think it's a flagged word. Freedom, I think, is a flagged word. So don't use freedom unless you have to. And that means no. Definitely not the word Bitcoin. You will lose your account, and there will be a hole in the ground where you once were if you use the word Bitcoin in any of your ads. Okay. No medical terms if you're running product forward ads, like especially anti-aging and weight loss. Those are the two hottest no-nos on Facebook. So if you are running products that are for weight loss, we have to speak in different terms. And so, like, the thing is, these words doesn't mean you can't use the implication of these words, but you have to describe the things. What I mean by that, like with weight loss, if you have a product that helps with weight loss, it's not like lose weight now, ask me how, right? It's like, hey, I have an ad that's in the sample ads where I talked about, because I'm an equestrian, and I wrote an ad to equestrian saying, it was after New Year's. It's like, did you have too many, I said it in appropriate terms, like too many Christmas cookies makes your horse roll its eyeballs back at you when you get on because, you're heavier than you were at Thanksgiving or something like that. Like I was playing on the fact that, a weight gain over the holidays. So you can be creative when you want to imply these things, like anti-aging, you've got to be careful, but you've got to say, skin. Even skin is like a little bit difficult. It's like, you could say you want to look the best you can, no matter what, no matter where you are in life or something like that. You got to imply it in different ways. You just can't use these words. Anxiety, diabetes, depression, asthma, cancer, those are words you should be using anyways because it's not legal for FDA purposes, but I will say there's creative ways to go about it. And trust me, you're going to see ads in your stream that do mention these things, but again, they might have more clout on their account than you do. Also, tell your story. Facebook really loves that, and I'll show you how to write that in a minute. And then ad images cannot be more than 20% of the text. So if you are manually adding in some of your own images, do not make the image have more than 20% of it with words on it. And then when it comes to words, test 6 very different images. I typically like to do 2 happy people related to your avatar, 2 distressed looking people, 1 with animals, and 1 with a serene type of landscape, like with mountains or a beach scene or something like that. So let's get into why do people click on your ad? Well, the number one reason is your image. So we got to have that image very bright colored. You know, this muted looking, field at dusk does not work. It's got to be very bright colors. So that one of the things that I do when I'm looking at my images is I turn my head to the side and I look at my screen through my periphery and see if my eye gets pulled to that image. So the image should be bright colors. It should have reds or oranges or yellows to pull in someone's eye, or pink or orange. If I didn't say orange. And also eyeballs are good on an image. That's why I have an animal image often mixed in there. People like that. They will stop because of the image. That's what makes them read. Now, the next thing they look at, what their eyeball looks at, is the headline below the image. So the most important thing is the image, and the second thing is headline. That's why we test 6 images. So the headline goes below the image, and I'll have you write that in a very specific way, but that is the second thing they look at. Then they look at the first couple lines of your ad, and then they read the body of the text. So, and where it says learn more, read more, they'll go into do that. But not everybody's going to read more. So you got to really bank on your image, your headline, and the first couple lines of your ad. So when you write the ad, first thing you want to do, and this is kind of a flow that you're going to want to keep in reference. So the ad you want to put in brackets, you tell them what they're going to get. So in that brackets, you could put instant access or webinar or free video or get this report or free report. Whatever you're going to give them, put it there. Or you can even put watch below if you're just putting a video below it. Then the next thing is to open with a question or 2. This will catch their attention, and I'll show you on an actual example in a second. This will catch their eye. The question, you always want a question mark right after those brackets. It also opens their mind to read on. So it catches their attention, and then it's like, maybe I need to read this. And then we want to transition to validate their pain point. So then we're going to say, well, the problem is, or, most people struggle. And then you're going to go into the next piece. And again, I've got some examples for you to follow it to make more sense with this. But this is the outline of the flow of how to write an ad. And then you tell a story of your own, saying, well, I remember back when, or, well, let me tell you a story. So be very specific in your story and tell it in very clear detail, like word pictures. And then reveal what you have found to resolve the problem. And then you present that in your ad. You say, well, after all that, I discovered a way to blah, 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 solve the problem that you opened up at the beginning in the first paragraph. And then at the end, you have to direct them. I've created a webinar that tells you my story and how I was able to fix blah, 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 blah. It could be, fix not being able to sleep at night anymore because of my perimenopausal hormone swings. This is and then you will put in your headline. This is my 3 ways of falling asleep faster without using, gimmicks or fake things or whatever. Okay. And then below, you want to direct them again. Click below or this link and watch now. And then you put your link of your webinar there. And then that blue section there is your space holder for an image. And then the headline below that will say something like watch now. 3 ways to blah, blah, blah. And then you have in brackets, click here in all caps. So I'm going to give you some examples of ads. This is one that I ran very successfully for perimenopause. And if you see at the beginning, it follows the flow, webinar in brackets. Perimenopause got you waking at 3 a.m. There's your question. That gets them to look, right? Remember, they look at that image first. And then staring at the ceiling and watching the minutes tick away only to fall back asleep an hour before the alarm goes off makes for a bad way to start the day. Yes, true statement, right? That's what we want to validate. We want them to say, yes, that's true, right? So, and then we go into the problem is thing. One of the first and biggest problems as, quote, the change begins, deals with sleep. Can't fall asleep, can't stay asleep, night sweats, and restless sleep. And then I turn into my story. I get it. I was once a solid sleeper. Fire trucks could be in my bedroom and I wouldn't wake up. And then when I hit my 40s, I felt like hold on, my tongue is twisted. I felt like I didn't feel like I knew my body anymore as I started going through the change. I was miserable. But the good news, I've made a video that shows you my 4 little known ways my clients and I use to rebalance my body during this time. Help sleep and a whole bunch more. Click below and get instant access to this no-cost training video now. And I didn't put the link behind there of the video, and I should. Okay. So then, right below, you see below the video, you see the headline that says "Watch Now," and then 4 ways to get through perimenopause without going crazy. This particular one I didn't, but it should have the brackets there that say "Click here" in all caps, and that's what I do here in this other one. So this is an example, a very interesting example. On the left is an ad that I've been running for years. I could tell you without a doubt, if you ran this ad, it would shut your accounts down. But because I've been running it for so long, and my account has more, I guess you'd say, I don't know what you want to call it, authority, I can run this ad. It says instant access. Okay, feeling trapped. Trying to get out of corporate to get your freedom back and not sure how. Problem is, another job isn't the answer. Finding a way to have free time and financial security is. Plus, it's almost impossible to totally rebuild after kids leave home, divorce, recession, or downsizing to go at it alone. Long-term security is a heavy weighing concern on the hearts of women. Time is of the essence to make radical change. This training is for you if you're tired of the cycle of getting by, using coupons and Groupons to have family vacations. Showing up to a 9 to 5 is frustrating because you have better things to do, and I have a typo even in there. Your what-if stash is less than a lady's shoe size. How to pay for college when the parents' loans are still being deferred. It's impossible to catch up and get ahead because there aren't enough hours in the day. Watch Now, 3 simple ways to get free of your time-consuming job, find your purpose, and create financial independence for long-term security. So this is not an ad that would be compliant. I did a rewrite of the same ad on the right side, and I want you to follow the flow if you're doing business opportunity to follow the flow of this one more likely. So if you see feeling trapped is the same. Instead of saying trying to get out of corporate to get your freedom back and not sure how, I changed that to trying to get out of the daily grind and not sure how. So I removed the word corporate. Then I kept it the same. Problem is, comma, another lateral move isn't the answer. That was changed from another job isn't the answer. So I don't want job to be in this copy. Finding a way to have time freedom and financial security is. So I changed, instead of having time freedom, I said finding a way to have time control and security is. I took out the financial security. I want to take all the red flags of this out as possible. Plus, it's almost impossible to totally rebuild after kids leave home, Most of this is the same, but I changed where it said long-term future is a heavy weighing concern on the hearts of many people instead of many women. Okay, or the hearts of women. I changed it to people. But you notice I have a woman in the ad. So that's like I'm bridging to women that way. So this training for you, most of that is the same, except for the one that is the 5th one down, how to pay for kids' higher education when parents' obligations are still being deferred. I changed that from how to pay for kids' college when parents' loans are still being deferred. So we want to make that more neutral. I also changed the headline. 3 simple ways to find your purpose and create long-term peace of mind. Versus the other one that was very much a red flag. 3 simple ways to get to get free of your time-consuming job, find your purpose, and create financial independence for long-term security. And then the headline as you see, watch now, but that would be above the image. That is the same one as the headline below the image. So when you write 3 simple ways to find your purpose and create long-term peace of mind, and then click here, you put a link to your URL to your lead pages right there. And then also your headline, 3 simple ways to find your purpose and create long-term peace of mind. Actually, what I wanted to do is, I should have this right here. There we go. I forgot that. Sometimes I don't remember everything. So then I would have click here. Because believe it or not, people don't know to click on these ads. It's very strange. They're like, where do I click? And this says click below. I don't know. People don't often figure it out. So put click here. This may not fit and show in preview. One of the things you always want to watch is that this preview does have everything there. So this is a good flow to have. It doesn't matter what type of ad you're doing. If you want to, when you are writing your ads, like back here in this previous one, where it says, I get it, once I was a solid sleeper, and then I tell a story, you could get really deep into stories. We call them long copy ads. And you could go really into something in depth if you want. It's not going to hurt your ad. You know, remember, the image, this headline, and the first 2 lines are the most important things. If you want to add more details, you can. So this should be a really good formula for you to follow. And always, you know, be mindful of what Facebook is doing. And I want to look at these images before you, or these ads before they go live.